Here, a few years ago, I went for a walk at a local park. When I got there was two strange men in an old minivan. When I looked at it, I was intuitively shown that they had some kind of secret or hidden technology. And the last thing I remember is these two guys walking in front of me. Did they do something to me and was I blank slated? Like my memory?
You're in a park.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm getting is they had something to do. Well, how did they get that? Who are they?
They looked like they were trying to be like they're trying to be hidden, but it was such an old minivan. I'm like, that stands out like a sore thumb. And then
Yeah.
I don't know if they had some kind of 5G scanning technology in it or something, but
Are they time travelers?
oh wow.
Or they end up there.
Oh wow.
Did they not look like they were from this time period?
No, they look
Yeah.
weird, like really weird outfits on once again.
Yes. They had some type of device that manipulates time.
Wow.
Getting when you're like, oh, was I blank slated? I was like, you're not blank slated, but I see you frozen.
Wow.
You're like, oh shit, he saw us. Freeze.
Oh wow, that's crazy. So they weren't there necessarily for me.
No.
Okay. I did a collective return to sender not too long ago, first time ever, and there was like a 2.8 magnitude earthquake minutes after where my house started shaking. And I'm 44 years old and I've never felt an earthquake here before. Was that coincidence or like how does that happen?
Yeah. So the earthquake was not a coincidence. What Earth does is it takes it and it transmutes it, right? So it takes the dead body, decomposes it, and then now it's fertilizer. We think it's bad, now it's good. So where does that energy go?
Gotta go somewhere.
Energetically, it would have been Earth taking it and transmuting it.
Oh, so in our last session, we also talked about a Filipino woman that was sending me decibels that had her own son commit suicide. I recently found out that she had been spending thousands of dollars flying to the Philippines to work with dark practitioners to help take me out. One day I was walking through a parking lot and I thought to myself, I wonder if any of these dark practitioners sending me black magic for no reason have lost their life. At that very second, a guy dropped a glass jar and it broke. So I took that as a yes. So I messaged a shaman friend of mine and he said, actually, two women have lost their lives, one in a car accident and one by a heart attack. Now here's a side story before coming back to this one. In the summer of 2024, I was in Vancouver putting my e-bike on my car rack when a Mercedes pulled up behind me. This woman put her hand out the window and started shouting frantically. I went over to see what was wrong. And the first thing I noticed was that it was an elderly woman, the same nationality as the woman sending me decibels. She kept saying over and over, can you help me? Can you help me? This woman had fear in her eyes and her hands were shaking. I never seen someone so rattled before. I asked what's wrong. She said, I need to find this address. I asked, you don't have a phone? She said, no, I'm not from around here. I'm not from around here. She gave me an address that I typed in my phone. And when I looked at her to give directions, she was staring at me and I got the impression she never looked at my phone once. The address did not exist and eventually she drove off. I felt right away that this woman was not of the 3D reality. Was this woman the woman that died in the car accident? And was the address she gave me the spot where she died in the Philippines?
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
I do see her going from frantic to when you take your eyes off of her and you're looking at your phone, she's like
staring at me.
Oh, like staring. Like, how could you go from being so frantic, like, oh my God, can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? To just like, it's like a blank. I don't want to say evil to add on to that, but it's kind of like, it's like that kind of a stare. Did the actress have anything like was it kind of Spanish, like San anything, or was it?
It had a couple words in it, and at the end it was like grove or drove or something like that. I know I can't really recall the first part. But was this woman of the 3D?
Yeah, I'm being specific because when you say 3D, technically yes, but then you want to know
the physical kind of.
Was she physical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I asked, well, was she physical or was she like a remnant kind of a like 4D kind of a thing,
yeah,
like in between worlds type of thing? Was it? You said it was a black Mercedes? Do you remember the color?
I can't recall if it was black or white, but I remember it was a Mercedes. Because I remember when we talked about when I met that woman who put arsenic in my drink, there was two beings that weren't necessarily real, quote unquote, that gave me the wrong directions. And I got the impression that this woman was not like me or you.
Yeah, I remember that. Now that you're saying that, I'm just like, oh shoot, you're the one that you're walking down the road and then it was like, oh, God, I remember this. Yeah, I was like, oh shoot. I have so many spooky encounters. Because I'm not getting that she was actually real.
I was like, there's no way she was like 100% not real. So is that address she gave me, is that where she died in a car accident in the Philippines?
So I would say, yeah, to pull it up.
But from the age of 5 to 7, we had a neighbor about a block away that hung chickens from the trees and played organ music at midnight. And for 2 years, from the age of 5 to 7, pretty much every single night, I got attacked by demons in my sleep to the point I never wanted to go to bed. Was this black magic being sent from that house? And if so, why did my guides allow it to happen for so long?
And you said you were attacked by demons in your sleep?
Yeah, it was very vivid. And like, yeah, every single night, this demon would start coming through the wall and then jump on me and I'd start screaming and wrestling around. And it got to the point where my parents just stopped coming in the room.
So that's why I'm seeing the way that you perceived it. It looks like the way that you perceived it was a classical demon red. Did you see it as like red? Could you see it?
It was really strange because I had, even though in reality I didn't have a blanket on my wall, but in every single dream there was a blanket and this demon would start coming through the blanket. So the blanket would be on it, but then it would jump off and like, I don't really recall ever seeing it.
Yeah. And the blanket, did you see it on the right hand side? Like wherever you're perceiving is always on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm seeing it jump from there. There was a correlation with the house, your neighbor. Would you be perceiving? Why would this be allowed? Because that was your question, right? Why would your how this happen to you?
It was pretty traumatizing.
Yeah. So when you first started saying that, what I was being told and got the sense of is that it sounds very masochist, but it's part of you growing like a thicker skin. They could have blocked it, to be honest. Because I'm asking, like, why would this be allowed? They could have blocked it for you, but this is why I say it's masochist. And there's a part of you that agreed, and that's what your guides are saying. They're like, we could have blocked it, but there's an aspect of him. It wasn't like full on 100%. That was like, yes, let me get attacked. But it was like an aspect of you that was like, I need this for my growth. So
would it be accurate to say that a percentage of that reason, besides becoming a man, would be maybe burning off karma from traumatizing other people in other lives?
Oh, okay. They said yes, it is. What I get the sense of, it wasn't just manning up. It wasn't just paying karmic debt. What it was you coming into this physicality, into this human consciousness, into this conceptual self. It was a hard and fast, this is what happens, this is what I've done in my other, so we'll take karma, we'll take that, right? I did this in my other lives. But part of the learning of coming into this human consciousness as Ashley was, I want to take anything bad and experience it as like a very quick fast growth, including allowing this demon to attack me.
Here in 2020, I met a Russian woman, and the last time I saw her, I believe she put black magic in a candle that she gave me. And after I lit it, I was attacked that night by a negative entity. Was this from the candle? And if so, what was her intentions?
Okay, so there was energy connected with the candle. It's a really big energy, and this energy, because I see what it is. It's like a huge being. So you take this and you're like, okay, this is my candle. So I do see it actually as a really, really big being. It's not black. It's like a really, really dark blue, almost black, but it's like a big energy form with the candle. Be bad.
Okay, but I was attacked energetically quite heavily the night that I lit it, I believe.
Yeah. So let's ask, why were you attacked then? Because you took it. Why were you attacked though? Because I do see you being attacked.
Yeah.
So what was happening with the candle was, that's what I was saying. You have to think about where you were at that point in your life, your mental and emotional state. Yeah. The attacking feels, I don't discount that. I do see that you're attacked, but this is why I kind of wince. I'm like, technically it's you doing it to you.
In the last session we talked about an Iranian woman who put arsenic in my drink and Archangel Michael saved me. Mm-hmm. I'm just curious here. I had to fill out a lot of personal information because I went to her work to get like a vitamin C IV and some services done. Did she use my information to commit some kind of fraud?
Yeah, they said yes, she did.
That's fine with that. I was just curious to what level she took that at. My logical brain is having a very hard time understanding how you can hang out with someone for 3 months and everything seems to be going good, and you introduce them to your kid and then they try to kill you with arsenic. So my question in here is, what was she planning on doing with my body? Like, if you go out of your way to buy arsenic and you plan on killing someone, you must have a plan. And was her mom involved with this?
Do you know if she was even just? I feel like she was good about covering it. If she was like mentally ill, because
I would have to say she has to be mentally ill to do all the stuff she's done. Yeah. Okay, so what was she planning on? Like, if I would have died there, because I was at her house, like I was sleeping over, she put arsenic in my cacao. Like, if I would have died there, like she couldn't have just lifted my body by herself. And like, what was she planning on doing?
It wasn't that she was experiencing rage or anger. She was experiencing some type of like urge. That's why I'm like, there's something not right with her brain. Where I was like, I just feel like doing this. Like, I'm gonna do it.
So she didn't even plan that far ahead.
She didn't plan that far ahead of like, well, what if he dies?
It's not like you can run to Doppers and grab some arsenic, right? Like, you have to plan and
say you didn't recover, right? So you actually did die. What I see as a different, because this would have been another timeline, right? That would have like peeled off and maybe you weren't hearing more. The peeling off would have been, what do we do? What were you thinking? What were you doing? Right? It's just like, I don't know. I didn't think that would happen. Or I would have planning that. And what the mom would have done is, let's call the police and make up an excuse.
Oh, okay.
That could have been a possibility. Because I see you guys arguing in the car, like he's in the passenger seat and you're driving. If he didn't mean to kill you, then what would happen? Like extorting. That's the word I heard was extort. But it feels like he was still tied to like shady characters.
Yeah. Like, but was it so? Like, I mean, the guy's not on drugs or drinking. Like, he came out and he was doing 2 steps forward, 1 step back to the point where I had to push him away. Was that Jesus? Like, did Jesus do something to his crown chakra so I could get over there?
Yeah, it was. They're just saying it was your guides. So
the woman, when she went to the Philippines, did she do a mock funeral for me? Like, did she hire a priest and like pretend she was going to my funeral in order to, create that energy as if it would make it happen?
I'm saying she's doing something ritualistic.
The word on the street is that she almost drowned to death when she was in the Philippines. Is this a complete lie, or did that actually happen because she was sending me black magic? She does say things to get sympathy from people, so.
That was like an over-exaggeration.
I gave her one of my sculptures called the Healing Tree, and as a gift, and I believe that she did money spells on them to block me from abundance.
Sculptures, because I am seeing them. That time, it's okay if you don't feel passionate about creating them anymore. It served a purpose. What you were doing at the time,
it was a distraction from drinking.
Oh, good. Okay, so
yeah,
actually, okay, awesome. So what your sculptures were actually doing, which is pretty interesting, is it had its own, like if you could gift people like Christ consciousness in a bottle, in a sense. I'll just use that as an example. Like, here, you get one, you get one, you get one. Whatever it's meant to do for the person, it'll help them in their own unique way. See, you did give her one? You said? Okay. Yeah. So what happened with her, with this sculpture did, whatever she was doing, I don't know why. Like, why would she be so like up with you?
Trying not to crazy people won't get you anywhere.
Yeah, whatever she was doing ill intention via the tree actually affected her. So it was like a boomerang effect.
Oh, wow.
It didn't actually affect you. It was like, if you're going to put out everything, it was like a mirror.
Okay, that's how I made them. I'm like, anybody who's trying to put negative energy into these trees are going to get it right back. So she didn't necessarily throw me off some life destined path. It's just, just there to help quit drinking.
You were actually helping. You're helping whoever you gifted it to, or whoever, like the guys that were convulsing came into contact with it.
Yeah.
Had that effect. It was purposeful in that moment of your life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I'm super satisfied. I'm out of questions. You seem to have nailed the ball on the head.